Yeah, we tried to clean the vacuum cleaner and it was full of like hair.
Yeah, whose was it?
Not mine.
You have to come closer to the microphone.
Yeah, I think it was an emergency operation, but I think it went well. Now it's back, like the full capacity is there. So yeah, got a runny nose.
Yeah.
But it's good because today there is a holiday, and I think I don't know how many holidays we have had in May and June. Like Germany is pretty good in terms of holidays. So today it's Corpus Christ. I don't even know so much about like the background of it. I just like looked it up a bit, and it seems like there is a connection. Like I know Eastern and Pentecost has a clear religious background. There is of course, like the story of crucifixion and then resurrection, but it seems like Corpus Christ is just something like a a festival that or yeah, like a festival that came into play or was established later by the church. And I think that's it also depends on the state. So some states have it or celebrate it, especially when they have got a huge Catholic proportion, whereas like in some states in Germany they don't really celebrate it. So yeah, here we have one day off and we are using it.
Yeah, I'm just like reading up the Wikipedia article on it, and it just says that the Feast of Corpus Christi is a Christian liturgical solemnity celebrating the real presence of the body and blood of Jesus Christ in the
Not
elements of the
one.
Eucharist. So,
Yeah, I think it was established later on. It's like a
but why is it today?
liturgical thing, and there are a lot of like it seems there are a lot of processions. Since I'm evangelical, so we don't really celebrate it. But I think it's because the the Eastern holidays were supposed to be like a quiet thing, like something like a celebration where you are more inwardly oriented, or you take your time. You there's much awe in it. There is much awe in like the celebration. Whereas today there are like these processions and bipping, and yeah, that's the thing. But I I don't also know so much about it. But so a lot of companies have their like extended holidays now, so we can use the day just to get settled and to for you it's really good, right? I mean, for your allergies and
Yeah. Just
you have
need
to
take
go
a
to
break.
work tomorrow.
Yeah, I do have to work tomorrow. But that's fine. I think it's nice having a break in the middle of the week. Kind of. I don't know. This week I've been very like off.
Yeah,
I think just like
started last week a bit.
yeah,
Feeling
that's
drowsy.
depression.
That's the depression. Yeah, but tomorrow I think that yeah, you don't have to work that much, right? I mean, there's like here in Aachen, they announced like a bit protest movement, and
Yeah.
so we don't even know if we can go to work. And
Yeah. So you mentioned it was Friday for Future. It's Friday for Future on
yeah,
Friday. Can you explain what that is?
I think here it's since Aachen is very much in this three-country border, they were trying to take the city as a symbol for international protests. So it's very easy so it's not like a German movement anymore. It's more like a pan-European movement where a lot of people are coming to this central gathering. They're trying to. There are also some concerts, some bands playing, which is in the main stadium. So I looked it up, and they have a big agenda. They want to do even like Greta would
Is she
show
the one-
up.
Yeah, is she the one who's leading it? Because I go to the Fridays for Future website and it's like her face.
I think so. Yeah, she's like, when you talk about like, also an interesting topic for a future podcast, like when it comes to like symbols, or I was thinking about doing one on like childhood and kind of like childhood heroes or people that lead such a movement. I think that during the last couple of months, she became basically the symbol for this movement. And yeah, I think she's very controversial. I also reviewed her book, but I think she has potential, because I think people can relate to her because she's so into really taking it to another level. Like she's really following her own agenda. She says she doesn't want to like take the plane anymore. So when she comes, she travels by train, for instance, and that's why before, I think there was a time where we had all these like celebrity leaders like Bono or Brad Pitt or Angelina Jolie, and they are all like they did good stuff for
Leo DiCaprio.
Leo, yeah. But on the other side, I think they were just like, there's so much contradiction in their behavior. So I think she became it because she was like an outsider, like she's still in school, and then people are relating to her more because she's really taking it seriously. I mean, you don't know about the influence of her parents, but I think that what I figured is she's very much into this sustainable lifestyle. She's very much into how we treat our environment, and I think that she also for the future she will be really important. I mean, she was giving speeches to world leaders already, and that's quite something for, I don't know how old she's, like 16 or 17.
I don't know.
But I think so. Here in Aachen gonna be like the big protest movement, and I hope that I genuinely hope that it's gonna be something like not violent. It's gonna be like people are just like raising the awareness of our environment. And
How would it be violent though?
yeah, because you never know. Like we had the case for the G20 movement, where then a lot of like activists, so to speak, like from the very extreme left came, and they're like they have their own agenda. They're trying to force people. They are using violence because they say, okay, we can't take it anymore, and we have to be violent to change things up a bit. And I think that this is very contradictory in the way that how the environmental movement actually should act. Plainly, because like I think violence in this sense like will always be bad for the whole image of the movement.
Yeah.
Because then the other part can say, okay, there are some like really radicals, and then there is so much they can do against them. So I think that hopefully and there are people coming from all different spectrums, and I hope they gonna stay in their means that they choose. They're gonna be peaceful. Or what do you think? What's your
like I feel like if you have people who are rioting and like causing problems, I feel like that goes against what they're fighting for, right? So I don't really see why there would be, like, to me it just sounds like a convention more than a protest. But like, I don't know, even because I feel like, especially if it's being led by this she's 16 years old, like it doesn't make sense to think that, like, I know earlier when we were talking about this, you were like talking about a colleague who's worried about security and stuff, but I really don't think it's going to be something that's supposed to be violent. Is like, it's not. I think maybe the biggest conflict would just be people who are fighting for their jobs versus the people who are trying to protect the climate. So things like people who might work in the coal or oil industry.
Oh yeah, sure.
I think that's what the common conflict is, at least where I'm from in Canada, because that area is, you have a lot of people who are in the oil industry and their jobs depend on this industry. So I know that when a lot of leftist parties come in and try to introduce these sort of taxes to help the environment, I know that it gets a lot of controversy. But I feel like in Germany, the mentality is a bit different, especially here. I think for the most part, people are pretty on board with, making these changes to protect the protect the earth and manage this climate stuff.
Yeah, I think in general, yes. But of course, there are some regions where they had a lot of coal industry. So these jobs are now, of course, like people see that they're in danger. And then what I find a bit bizarre when they are like this whole mashup of like green equals like vegan feminism, like they're just putting it all into the same category. And I think that like the climate, especially for our generation, is something that should bind us, because we are living what kind of what we discussed in the last podcast. We have to deal with the effects of it, and you can already see them. I mean, just watch this Netflix docu on like how the Earth is changing. I was so baffled when I saw it, and so like, yeah, if you see the pictures of like whole species like trying to fight for their survival, and then you hear people talking on, yeah, this is not going to happen, and like the general consent of 98% of all climate scientists, it's just there. It's just a matter of fact. It's not really debatable. And also, I think that even if there would be a chance that it would be exaggerated, like we should still do it just for our own sake, for our own survival, because like the stakes are just too high, even if it's just too exaggerated. Because in a way we have to change our lifestyle anyways, like whether it's like through better technology, better burning technology, storage, and I think that it has also potential for future generations to still live here and trying to have a safe and secure environment for us, right? Mm-hmm. That was kind of a rant. When I go into go into the rant mode.
Well, for you, like this topic is also very like interesting for you, because it's also close to what you're working on, right? Or I guess like your area of expertise.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I've been dealing with these subjects for years now, and also concentrating on fossil fuels, natural gas, networks. But when you talk about energy, I think you have to be looking at a very holistic holistic approach, because they all depend on each other. Like, for instance, when you take coal and you have less coal, of course some other element of our energy has to replace it. So there's a lot of what they call dependencies, because let's say you don't, the prices for one energy fuel are high, you have to replace it by another one. You might import that. If you take a lot of coal and then the politics says, okay, we don't want to have coal anymore, they can, for instance, Europe, they can get it from other countries, or if they have an abundance of a certain energy fuel, they can exchange it. So there are a lot of these interconnections now at play, and yeah, of course you have to you have to be very aware of the fact that there is no one single nation that is energy energy, how do you say, energy, they can
Self-sufficient.
self-sufficient, that's the word, yeah. So they, yeah, that's an interesting fact also for global economies, because you look at it and you see, oh, we need energy from Germany needs energy from different sources. Canada also takes energy from different sources. So there's always this trade flows, exports and imports that, yeah, make our societies still work, because otherwise it wouldn't function. There are countries that have literally no own energy sources, whether it's small or too small, like
What are examples?
the UK or Japan has basically no, or South Korea, I think they've basically
Really?
they've basically no own resources, so they depend on it, and yeah, that's a matter of fact. And other countries like Russia, Canada, they have more, but for the future, I think technology will be very important to make it cleaner, more sustainable.
Yeah, no, for me, like, I'm very not informed enough about this area. Like, of course, I want to protect the environment, and I try to be aware of the what I purchase and things like that. But in terms of different countries and what the economy of energy and things like that, this is still something that I'm very unfamiliar with.
Yeah, I think that there are two facts. One is like the hard facts, where you see the whole change of energy. Where is it produced? How is it traded? So there are also like financial markets that set the bar or set the prices. And then there is the fact what you are more interested in, which is like the consumer side. What can you do? How can you contribute to some minor change, even like how to what impact does your food have, or your shoes, or your lifestyle, where you travel, how you travel, and stuff like that. And then going back to this movement, I think that the last years there was so much talk about like climate change. We saw some of the impacts already, and then probably now that culminated already in these protest movements, because younger people are getting more and more connected and aware of how also politically what we can do. Maybe this feeling that we cannot do anything was very common here. And now, yeah, this movement, I think, shows what I like about it is that it really shows that people might unite to change some parts of it. Like, they, even if they just come together, get to know, I think it's a cool thing, right? I mean, still nowadays people talk about like, yeah, in the 60s, like we had also this movement, and they were changing the hierarchies of the post World War generation. There was more about like gender roles and emancipation, and I think now the main topic is changing more towards this climate, global stuff that has more an direct impact. So it's, before it might have been our lifestyle, how like roles maybe in our society, and now it's getting more into this, like, we have this awareness already, but now we are a bit scared of what might happen to our future. And that is this valve, or this vehicle might be this movement.
Mm-hmm. Is that what you were? Yeah, I don't know. Like, what are the changes that you think need to be done?
Yeah, like I think you can go from like the bottom level to the top level, like we said before, we can be aware of what we buy, what we do, and even like basically having this like consciousness about what our impact is. I think that is changing, and then maybe going up to the top level where political or economic decisions are made. So it has to go like that's like this grassroots movement, starting from the top, starting from the bottom, going to the top, and from there changing something like fundamentally. I think I don't know, like concrete advices or policies. I don't really know, but I think that a lot of things might have to change through also from the top, like where the decisions are made, like for how we, like for instance, like the car industry. Like we have so many cars here, like the cities are crowded, people also don't like it. And yeah, maybe now you see like even the German car industry with this diesel scandal, like where they had this fraud with the measurement systems. They are rethinking the way how they were doing their businesses right now. So maybe there is a change that was forced now, but maybe they can, like, I wish they can still change it, because of course, like here in Europe we also need good car companies. So it's not like, I would like to have them like go bankrupt, but I think they have to pay their part, and like what they did for the environment was super bad, right?
Yeah. Speaking of cars, did you hear? Do you know Simone Yetch?
Oh, never heard of her.
She's like I don't know. You've probably seen it on like Facebook. She's made like those really shitty robots, the ones that will like for example, one that like slaps you out of bed, or one that like chops.
Oh
your
yeah,
vegetables.
I've seen that.
So
her,
she recently, I don't know if she paid for it. I didn't actually watch the video, but I just saw that she got a Tesla.
Ah, okay.
And then she cut out the back of the Tesla and turned the Tesla into like a pickup. So like
self-made Tesla.
No, she like, so she what did she call it? She called it like a truckla or something like that. I can't remember.
Okay, cool.
But yeah, she's like known for doing all those like weird quirky things. So like I was just like thinking of Tesla cars, because like
it's kind of like Casey's doing his own like sunglasses by like making them look really like worn out, or like
no, like it's not for aesthetics. Well, she's just doing it like, she's just kind of like taking these two ideas. Like you have like a pickup truck, which is supposed to be like running off of diesel fuel or whatever,
okay.
And then you have like a Tesla, which is supposed to be like the most energy efficient car out there.
So she's like a DIY hand tailored gal.
She's incredible. I really look up to her. I don't think she even like, I don't know what her.
Do you follow her, or like?
I follow her on Twitter. I'm just showing the picture of the Tesla car.
That looks really good, yeah.
But yeah, she's just like really innovative, I think. But yeah, and I think she even got like, I think Elon Musk even acknowledged it. I can't remember, but a lot of celebrities are talking about it as well.
Looks pretty cool, like.
But. No, that's what I was thinking. That's what I was just thinking.
Where's she from? Like
she's from Sweden.
Oh, she's from. Oh, okay, cool.
But she's been living in the U.S. and I think she lives in San Francisco at the moment.
Yeah, that makes sense.
But yeah, she's really cool.
What else happened?
What else happened? I don't know. Me what?
I had a day of decluttering.
Yeah, tell me about it.
Yeah, I was trying to, since I started work, and I wanted to have a new, for me, I had to really go through my stuff and see what I was wearing and not. So I realized how many clothes I had in my closet, and I wasn't even wearing them. So that actually gave me a bit of pain in the neck. I mean, you have so much stuff. I mean, I also had stuff from back, like 5 years back, But then I had a pair of trousers that I bought, but I think I wasn't even wearing them. So, and for me, it's like really hard because I'm so bad at throwing stuff away, because then my brain kicks in and it's like, okay, maybe you can wear it. Maybe I gain some weight, or maybe I can use it. But you're totally different, right?
Yeah, like it took me a while to kind of reach this point, because I think our family was also very, we were also the type who are very like, oh, maybe I can use this one day. Like, I don't want it to go to waste and stuff. I think moving a lot has kind of taught me not to hold on to so many things, especially because like it just makes the whole process so much more frustrating. And I don't know, I really admire the more minimalist approach to things. I like that it's a lot cleaner, which is not what I am, but it's something I aspire to be. And I feel like in order for me to be, I don't know, especially with my depression, I think I tend to be very messy, and it's just better for me if I have fewer things that will make me stressed. But yeah, I think only this year recently I started to just like, or maybe last year. Oh no, it's been like slowly developing over time, but I tried to like limit my wardrobe to like black t-shirts and then a few trousers, and I don't know, recently I got some hand-me-down jackets from your aunt. But yeah, I'm trying to really be mindful of the pieces that I buy. I know that before I was into, like, you know how you try to like justify the things that you own and reasons to keep them?
Yeah, this is what I was also pointing at.
Yeah, because it's like, oh yeah, but this was expensive, so I should keep it.
Exactly.
It's a good brand.
Yeah. That's a good brand.
Yeah.
But I don't know why, for me, it's sometimes so hard to get rid of stuff. Maybe I think it's like a family thing. My father was also like a keeper, and he was a bit of like hoarding stuff also. When we were clearing his space, it was full of stuff.
Like his office or what?
Yeah, exactly. And I think, I don't know, maybe... So my father's like this post-war. He was actually born during the war, so they didn't. I mean, imagine that, Germany's Second World War. Like, he grew up under incredible poverty, and the conditions must have been horrible. And I think he got a bit traumatized from, like, you have a lack of everything. Like, there's no food, there's no shelter, there's no. He was telling me war stories, like how they were attacked by some, I don't know, like an airplane or something like that. And we could do a podcast about like German and Canadian history or something like that, maybe. But anyway, I think that this made him keep stuff more. So when you learn it from your father, and kind of like this behavioral approach, like you see what he's doing, you just know it through your father, right? You just never experience it differently. So we weren't moving that much like you guys, and so that's probably why it got really hard also for me to throw stuff away. But now I'm trying to teach myself to do it. It's kind of like a small pain, but so I collected 2 big boxes of old trousers and sweaters and t-shirts. What else? Shoes. This time no shoes though. But yeah, I had to teach myself to bring it away to these containers immediately. Otherwise, I would have just like looked into it and like, okay, maybe I can still use it, or I would probably find a justification for myself to keep it.
Yeah, I haven't heard about her for a while, but I was using the KonMari method to like go through all of my clothes and stuff like that, and I really managed to limit my wardrobe to like, I still have things that I would eventually like to get rid of, but yeah, I think the way that she treats things as like, I don't know, I think this whole gratitude idea towards your clothes and the clothes that you're getting rid of, things like that, things that spark joy in your life, and those are the ones that you want to keep. But it's still something that I'm working on.
That's exactly, like, I was trying to do that as well. So we used this, how's it called?
KonMari.
KonMari.
Yeah, because her name's Marie Kondo.
Marie Kondo. So thank you, Marie Kondo, for the methodology. It really helped me. And yeah, it's just like when you can't decide on, are you gonna keep stuff, or just like so my method now, I just go through the stuff like 3 times. First is like a general check. Then I let Jeannie check it on me. I try it on. If she gives her yes,
no. I think I let you keep maybe like 3 things.
If she says no, there is still a chance it goes on the second one. So there are like 3 in total. There are like 3 rounds of like evaluation of keeping or throwing it out. But so there is still a chance that I keep them, but in general I try it on. If it really fits badly on me, I'm gonna throw it on this first stack of pile of clothes, and then the other ones I keep thinking for a while. But then I think I when I go through it again and again, like these 3 rounds, I can limit it, and so I managed to throw like 2 big piles of clothes away, and that is now. I keep thinking about it. I took a picture and I did this method that I say, thank you t-shirt, or thank you my red sweater for giving me so much joy, or thank you pair of jeans for allowing me to wear you or not to wear you, or whatever. And then I can get rid of the stuff. I take a picture. And then I throw it on. You're looking at me as if I were crazy.
No, I'm not. I'm just...
It's my own philosophy, guys. But I think if you're also like a keeper, or if you are hoarding stuff, there is a way to get rid of it. And if you cannot make up your mind, you just keep it for the next round. As long as you keep working on it and the will is there, the will is always there, then you can always reward yourself by throwing stuff out. And then what do you think, like, did the method really change also on your consumer behavior?
Yeah, like when I go shopping and stuff like that?
Yeah, exactly.
I think I've become a lot more conscious of what I'm buying. Mm-hmm. So I stopped really... Well, also with the whole fast fashion movement, like I'm trying to really avoid that. So I've stopped really trying to find the cheapest deal, and when it comes to clothes, and I'm trying to find more good quality, long-lasting articles. I think my fear was always that I would buy something and then if it's expensive, then it's going to wear away anyways. But I don't know. We'll see. I'm still kind of new into this, but so far... Yeah, like I recently bought a pair of jeans and I really like them, and I hope that they're going to last a while.
Do you have a budget or something, like, for instance, a pair of...
My jeans cost me about €100, which is about 115 Canadian dollars. But in terms of budgeting, I think I just have, like with budgeting, I try to give myself a monthly budget, or it changes every month. So like I will get what my salary is, and then I make sure I'm paying off all my regular expenses, and then I see, okay, how much do I have left and where I'm going to allocate this? Am I going to allocate it to gaming? Am I going to allocate it to clothes or travel? Things like that. I'm not really good at staying within my budget, but it's something I'm working on. I'm always trying to improve myself.
Yeah, that's what I like about this whole like self-improvement. Now I'm trying to be a better in terms of like throwing stuff away and making it. I think it's really important to make it a habit.
Yeah.
to make it on a regular basis. Now I've been doing it more and more because I know that there was so much stuff from the past, and I think now I almost reached the point where I have quality stuff that I would wear more often that has higher quality, so I don't have to buy so much stuff, right?
Yeah. I think like there's still some things that I'm still holding on to things like that pair of jeans that don't look great on me, but I'm like, maybe I'll get them tailored one day.
Uh-huh.
Those like the blue ones that are a little bit baggier, but I kind of also like them because they're practical, but it's just not the most flattering pair of jeans that
And you got it from this
secondhand
secondhand.
store. Yeah.
Was it like this change where you bring your stuff and you get one like?
No. It's just like a secondhand store. I think it's Oxfam.
Oxfam, yeah. It's an organization.
Yeah, so I just got my jeans for there, and they're Levi's jeans, but they were only I think like 16 euros or something, which is very cheap for a pair of
Levi's. They last forever. I mean.
Yeah. But they are a little bit big on me. I've learned to buy pants that are a little bit small for me when I try them on because I forget that fabric stretches as you wear them over time. So, yeah. But I think for you kind of had a different reason to get rid of like all your clothes because like since it's like you've had them for I don't know how many years and.
Some I realized I had it for, I don't know, maybe like 6-7 years. And they were just like hanging in the closet.
Yeah.
Like, so when I think about it now, also talking really helps. I mean, just making it rational. I think, I don't know why, but I might be too emotional for this whole like keeping or throwing stuff out.
But that's normal, I think.
Yeah, but when you think about it and rationalize your decision, you just be aware of the fact it's just clothes. There's no like so much emotional connection unless there is some reason. For instance, I had one pair of jeans that I remember I couldn't throw it away because that was the jeans I was wearing when we met first time, right? So
really?
I don't even
to be honest, I don't think I own anything that I wore when we first met. I think when we first met I was wearing like green skinny jeans sort of things, and then I wore like a blue tie-up vest and some sort of cardigan, I think. But
I had a shirt and I had like these red jeans. So for a while it was so popular to wear red jeans. Now I don't see it so much anymore. No. There's also like how fast fashion really changes your behavior. I mean, you're supposed to be always like with mainstream or. So for a while it was so popular in Germany to have these like red, like you would see people wearing these
red jeans. Top.
Yeah, I remember you were saying like, oh man, Germans are just into red jeans, right?
Yeah, there's like I even had like a photo. I think it's like creepy to admit. Okay, I was waiting at the bus stop and there were like 3 guys waiting at the bus stop. And they all had like red jeans and like a black like top, like jacket, sweater or whatever. Yeah. And it was just like really funny to listen to Tobias.
So there's no like, do you think like the companies are too like, or is it because it's more like a smaller city, or because I think when you go to Berlin or so, people are more edgy and more like. They have like vintage stuff, or they have more clothes that are maybe from the like like these trending stuff like from 80s, like
I think it's just also because like at the time fashion, like, so what I learned from The Devil Wears Prada is that like the fashion that people wear in like their everyday life is affected by what's happening in the high fashion industry. Because something in the high fashion industry will be kind of made into a more cheaper version in the more regular stores. So once you get to like your stores like H&M, who always try to be trendy, and like these are all stores that are taking after what's happening in the high fashion industry.
Yeah.
And so I think at the time this whole bright, colorful pants was just like a common thing at the time. I don't like keep track of high fashion, but that's what I imagine was the case. And now it's moved on to something else. And I guess that could be more retro style, but I'm not totally sure, to be honest. But yeah, I think that just had to do with what was popular at the time.
Yeah, I remember I read an interesting article about there was a guy working in the color schemes, or like they're choosing this, like there are like millions of colors out there, and then they are choosing like the color schemes for the next fashion season or so, like the spring collection or so, and that goes on now, and it would be probably for 2021 or so. So there is a clear strategy to always like change the color scheme, change the clothes, and always like trying to find something new so that you can produce more.
Yeah, that's why I just wear black.
Yeah, you've got your own minimal style right now. You don't have to think about it, right? You just like grab your pair of jeans, you wear a black shirt, and I think it's cool. It saves you so much time, right?
Yeah, it saves me a lot of time, and it saves me a lot of decision making. Especially like since a lot of my clothes are just like black or jeans. Then right now I'm wearing like something with like a print on it.
We have to post a photo of us, by the way.
Like right now?
No.
Oh, okay. Yeah, like I think, yeah, I found it also that I don't get tired of my clothes. Mm-hmm. Whereas like if you have something that's like lots of patterns and stuff, eventually you're just like, this is kind of boring, or it's not really what I want at the moment. But yeah, we'll see. Yeah.
But since when did you decide to do it? I mean, was there a concrete decision, or was it more spontaneous in the way that you are trying to minimize your time, effort you put into like your clothes? Or
I think that had to do with me going on Pinterest and like finding, like I would just collect a bunch of images of clothes that I liked. Oh yeah, and then like 2 years ago I kind of got into sewing as a hobby, so I was looking into like what are some things that I could put together, and I think that's when I started to get a bit more interested in fashion. And I realized that there was a certain style that I like, which was very like clean cut, basic, kind of boring, I guess, for some people, but very structured, and I guess something that's more appropriate for someone who's almost in their 30s, like kind of like that. Whereas my style used to be like mostly patterns and floral stuff and like very quirky and stuff. And I think my taste is going into this more subdued and more clean and muted sort of look. And from there, as I think just the idea, like the image that I appreciated was this more minimalist approach. And then I started to watch YouTubers who are into minimalism, and yeah, I think I really liked what they were like, what benefits they had that came from minimalism. And yeah, and I think for me, is in terms of like my lifestyle and how good I am at maintaining things, better for me to try to be as minimalist as I can. Although I wouldn't say that I'm a pure minimalist, but I think it's just a direction that I try to go into.
Yeah, I think it's like with the whole decluttering, like for me, it just takes a while. I don't think you can do it like from one day to the next. You can probably do it, but I think a more sane way would be to go through it step by step. You're getting rid of more stuff, and now thinking about it, I'm so glad I did this decluttering today. It took me like a couple of hours. I brought everything away immediately, and I feel newborn now.
Like a baby.
A newborn baby.
Oh, it's it. My sister's baby. She's like she's like a month and a half now, and like she's already like outgrowing her clothes that she wore like when she was just like a couple of weeks ago. That was just something that I was thinking of. I think it's cool though that like she got clothes from a friend instead of buying new clothes for the baby.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah.
A common trend nowadays is also like people are designing clothes that are meant to be able to like expand, or like somehow you're able to wear the
That's
baby.
cool.
Yeah, like the baby isn't just, it's not like just for that age, like those couple of weeks, but it's meant to be able to like get bigger and
Stretch or-
expand as the baby grows.
Yeah, that makes so much sense, because you don't want to buy a new pair of everything every, I don't know, like 3 weeks or so.
Yeah, baby.
They usually cannot remember what wearing when they were like 10 to 2 months.
Did I tell you this? Okay, so like I saw on Instagram that somebody found out that they were originally going to have a girl as a baby, and then they found out that like at the next ultrasound that it was actually going to be a boy. But they had already decorated the baby's room and bought all the baby's clothes as pink and stuff. And what they did is that they packed everything up, put it in the storage, and went out and bought boy clothes.
Oh my god, that is so. Oh god, I don't even know what to say.
Like, what
about
would you do?
this.
What would you do if, like, if you're gonna have a girl and then you bought all these like pink clothes and then you found out it was gonna be a boy? What would you do?
I don't like, who cares what they are wearing when they are this, like, your brain like starts developing, or your, what is, like, hippocampus,
Your hippocampus, yeah.
starts remembering stuff earliest when you're like 2 years old. So, like,
2, 3 years old,
who
yeah.
cares, honestly? Like, that is so, like, I don't know, 20th century stuff, man. Like, think about it. Like, my earliest memories are like, I was somewhere at the,
How old were you in your earliest memory?
I think I talked with my mom about it. Pretty much around maybe 2.5. I think we were somewhere in Corsica. Like, it's an island next to France, and there were like, that was during the summer, and there were like forest fires. And there were all these helicopters, and they are throwing like big, like, you know, like as a baby, or I don't even know if you're called a baby anymore, but anyways, you remember these like helicopters or trucks, like you're just so much fascinated by that. And then I just remember that I was like looking at the sky, and then they're throwing like these big, like, that kind of like tents full of sand, and then they are throwing it on the fire. So that,
Oh, okay, yeah.
like, I think I have a picture of that, but maybe it's also like the stories that were told to
Yeah.
me.
Like, I do
like
have...
the false memory experiments, like
Yeah.
the Lost in the Mall, so I don't know, like, but I think I remember a certain mood or atmosphere that was there. It was like hot, and like looking at the sky, and something's going on, and there are fires, and everybody's a bit like anxious, or like, I think I remember something like that still.
Yeah, I think so the earliest memory that I have that I know is legit is maybe when I was 3, but I do have one image in my head of me being in a stroller and my mom asking me if it was at a birthday party, and I was crying, and then eventually my mom like asked me if I wanted to, but then I like, it doesn't make sense because I didn't have language, so I feel like this is a fake memory.
Could have been fake. Memories are so common.
Yeah, because like I think my mom like asked me if I wanted to like play with the piñata, like hit the piñata with a stick, and I didn't.
Oh yeah, okay.
But yeah, now that I think about it, it sounds like, I feel like I would have had to have some understanding of language
You know
at the
what?
time.
We should do a podcast on these social psychology experiments. I would be like, that is one of my burning interests, like how memories are shaped, emotions, stuff like that. We can definitely do something about that.
Yeah,
and then
I
we
have a lot
can
of ones
connect
that I-
it to our own memories. Maybe make it a bit more interesting for, like, you don't think it's a good idea?
No,
or-
I'm just
wait.
thinking. I'm thinking of one study, and no.
Let's keep it for the next one. Then
Okay.
I think that would be a super interesting topic. And today I talked a bit more because you're a bit tired. We had our free day.
My eyes are like half open.
Your eyes are a
Looks
bit
like I'm
heavy.
high.
Yeah, you're high on life. I'm high on decluttering.
No, I think it's because I took allergy medicine earlier.
Okay.
And that makes me really tired.
Take a nap, take it easy.
Yeah.
We hope everything's gonna be safe tomorrow for the protest. Everything's gonna be smooth. And words anymore? Last words.
Whoa, last words.
Last words.
You gonna kill me or something? You gonna like pour a bunch of like peanuts on me?
Nah, I promise I won't do that.
Okay. All right, that's it. All right.
Okay, bye bye guys.
Bye.
Bye.